Why don't we go ahead and explain to them, though, people like me, well, after I discovered your site, but before I really became a member, I had already had a membership at ChatGPT, and I'd upgraded to the paid version because I use a lot of its features. I still do, but so I pay $20 a month. But people are asking, so how can they join this site, get access to multiple models for $5 a month when normally it costs $20 a month just for one membership at one model?
Oh, you mean how do we do it for $5?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty. It's pretty simple. There's several things we started this with one model, the OpenAI model. We were a beta tester back in 2021.
Okay.
That's when we first built the site, and we started. We had beta testers that came on board as we added more models and stuff like that. But basically, the reason. Let me go down. If you go on the main page of the site, and you scroll down just a little bit down here, where you see we talk about the two software companies because there's two of us that put two software companies put this all together. There's a little button
Right.
down here that says, how did we do it? And so if we click on here, it basically explains some of the ways that we did. There's over, well, it says 1,100 now, but I think it's more like 1,800 AI models out there now. A lot of specialized models that nobody would have, that very few people have use for. But
Right.
what we did was when we started out, every time we added a new model, we negotiate for bulk buying of the AI tokens. And it's just like Walmart. When they bulk buy stuff so they can get stuff out cheaper.
Right.
So you can buy stuff at Walmart for cheaper than you could at, Kohl's or someplace like that. And that's because they do the bulk buying. And you can do that with tokens too. In some cases, it takes a while for us to get a model online. But every time a new model comes out, that's one of the things that we do. Um, and that's just the first thing that we do. The second thing we do is we created a proprietary AI gateway system to all the best AI models out there. And we got several hundred um, actually in the system. You don't
Right.
use
And
them
that
all
change from
at
time
the
to time.
same
Yeah.
time or anything, but they're all in there. So the gateway system, one of the things it does is it improves the speed at which things are done with the AI, and it reduces the bandwidth that we're using to the system that I have set up, which also saves us money, which helps in the thing. And
Right.
and the third thing we do is the gateway system does something we spent 3 years developing, actually. It's an auto optimizing system that's inside of our apps for all the prompts. It optimizes for efficiency going out in terms of your input and in terms of the output coming back to you before they get to the AI.
Okay.
So it reduces excess. There's always excess stuff in code. You have too many blank spaces, and all this stuff gets thrown out there. And if you take them out, you optimize your bundle so that it becomes much more compressed. And
Okay.
we also have AI that optimizes AI, that helps. It takes care of things that cause problems like missing periods and a whole bunch of other stuff, and that also saves money um, in the system. How much it saves kind of depends on the model you're using and all that, but it saves money on all the different models.
Yeah,
Um,
and I understand you optimize the prompts too, right? I mean,
right?
some of
Yeah, we
us,
optimize the prompts, we optimize the input, we optimize the output. We make it more efficient, we make it smaller, and we make it faster. All these things save us money. So we're
okay,
saving money. Whereas the free systems and all out there, they don't do anything. It just gets loaded in there. And the other thing is that we use is pretty much a secret, but we call it the balance algorithm. And it's basically a math model that is actually structured on top of a math model that I developed when I was working at NASA to optimize our servers and the usage of the servers and the load on the servers so that the networks wouldn't go down like in the middle of a
Right.
launch or something like that. So I took that math model and I improved on it over the last 3 years. And we have all this data from all our AI sites. We have more than one AI site. We have specialty sites and stuff like that. Um, and so we have this load data. We know how many tokens are going out for any individual IP. We don't go it by people. We do it by IP. We track how many tokens are going out, how many tokens are coming back. So we know on our system how many heavy hitters we have, how many light hitters we have, how many people are average users, and all that information goes into a math model. And the math model tells us, um, where we're at and how much we have to have in reserve as far as money and tokens paid and all that sort of thing. And it also will tell us when it's time to raise the price.
Okay.
Because what it'll do is it'll say, okay, the load is getting to be significant for 90%. At this point, you need to raise the price another dollar or whatever. It gives a suggested to get us to equalize out um, on the system. So the people who buy now stay $5 forever, but eventually the load that the algorithm is going to tell us that we're going to need to increase the price. And when we do,
Right.
$6, $7, whatever it is, all the people who join after that will be paying more, and they're actually helping to pay for the people who are at $5 who may have gone into the heavy duty level, so to speak.
Right.
So it's all math. It's all a big math system, basically.
Okay.
So that's how we tell people by now, since we're dealing with it now, and it's great and all that kind of good stuff, and we're good. Yeah, but at some point, the bounce algorithm is going to tell us that, and we also have some arbitrary figures. Like if we get to 1,000, we're going to automatically, um, to another 1,000. If we go from 1,000 to 2,000, we may bump another 50 cents or something like that, um, just for business purposes. But
Yeah.
basically it's the bounce algorithm that is tracking all this, and it tells us, hey, okay, it's time. You need to raise it to 650 or 550 or $7, whatever it is.
Now,
Um,
when people log into the individual platforms, they're not logging in directly to the platform. They're logging in through an app. Is that correct?
yeah,
Through
as
one of
far
your apps.
okay, when they log in, they are logging into our platform, which is the deadeasysoftware.com site. It's a
Okay.
WordPress site, and the platform has the gateway and all that stuff in it. So they don't connect to the AI until they use an app. When they use an app, it opens in a separate tab, or window, depending on how you're using your system.
Right.
Okay, and the AI app, it talks to our gateway. Our gateway talks to whatever AI model they choose. And you can choose, any app you can, on, with a rare exception. There's a couple that we don't do that, but most of the apps, there's a slide panel where you can go into settings and you can choose which model you want to use. It's from a huge list.
Okay.
It's got, and on the list it has everything: OpenAI and ChatGPT and Claude and all these different AI models. And you choose the one you want to use at that particular moment with the app. So if you're using an app to create the ebook, you could create it with Perplexity. You could create it with Claude. You could create it with ChatGPT 5. You just go into the app, tell it, I want to use this model. And you hit the setting and you say, use this, and it'll pull up things like and say, okay, we're connected. And then you do whatever you want to do. You want to
Okay.
create a book, boom, it'll create a book. And that's the way it works. And it's a simplified, we simplified the interface to what we call the universal interface. So once you've learned how to use one app, you basically know how to use all the apps, because they have
Okay.
the same setup, the same interface, the same slide out panel, the same list of models. Everything's in the same place.
Uh,
The only thing that's different is what the model might be doing for you. It might be
right.
creating an ebook, creating content, or letting you interface with ChatGPT and do some chatting, or use
Or
one of our
writing
chat
code.
bots, or writing code. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got out for everything. Um,
Yeah. One of the things that I'd asked you about earlier was the fact that ChatGPT in particular has memory that it remembers from one episode to another. That's one of the reasons I kept ChatGPT despite having access to all these other models, because I can ask it questions when I log in directly, then it will remember something that I was working on 3 months ago. Most of the other models don't have that, right?
Yeah, we don't do the memory thing because that would really increase the price.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
it would make the price where it was, we'd be closer to the $20 mark if we were doing so it will remember what you're doing while you're doing it. In
Okay.
other words, if you get into a session and you start and you ask a question and all, it'll remember all of that. But
Okay.
once you close the app and go to thing, then it does not perpetrate all that. It flushes the cache, if you will, because
Okay.
everything's going into the cache anyway. So that's the one thing you want to do different. So our site is only $5, and you have 200 models that you can access. So if you want to have a chat GPT and pay $20 because you have some stuff that you want to use the memory for, that's great. Fine. You pay your $20 and you get the memory and all that other good stuff.
Right.
And for $5 more, you get another 199 or 299 models that you can mess with. So we're not really trying to replace certain things. The one thing, the memory is the one thing that's I really ought to put that in the little form here. Not doing keeping memory for a year or a month or a week or anything like that saves us
Right.
a lot of money. Okay, the big guys, Microsoft and those guys, they can afford to do that. We can't. So it
Okay.
is the one, and I tell people up front, it's the one thing we can't do. So we have a lot of people that have two accounts, one at Dead Easy Software and one at ChatGPT, which seems to be the one that people are the most. We have occasional ones that will use Claude or one or the other.
Right. Right.
Most of them are using the OpenAI system, um, and our system. So they're
Yeah,
paying,
that's what I do.
yeah, it costs you $25 a month, but you get 200 and some odd models you can access. Because
Right.
there's some things that, ChatGPT is good at a lot of things, but it's not good at everything. Um,
And
so you want
and
to be able to
the other,
access these other models, but you don't want to have to pay $20 for every bloody model out there. Like
right.
that
The
could,
other
as
thing
you, if you had six models, it costs you $120 a month.
the other thing people ask me is so how do I pay for the tokens? You cover the
You
tokens, right?
don't. Yeah,
Right.
we. It's very simple. We pay for the AI you use. Period. There are no tokens to be bought. You don't have to buy any credits. You don't have to give us an API identity. None of that nonsense, because you're not dealing with the cost of the AI. We are. We take care of that. We have these contracts. We are the ones who bought the tokens for cheap. So we have to be the ones to use them. So what you guys are doing is using the app, and it's basically we're paying for the AI because from that point on, it's our system, it's our money that's talking to OpenAI or Claude or one of the others, and that's on purpose. So you guys never have to pay. $5 is it. There's nothing